At this point, I've been to Auckland's Museum of Transport and Technology more times than I can count. But that doesn't change the fact that I still like this place for all the memories I've made here over the years, not to mention their impressive tram collection and Little Western Springs Railway, the latter being home to some preserved NZR steam locomotives, well, not just steam but also diesel, as well as a fair few coaches and wagons. I went back to the museum on Sunday, July 21. On this occasion, they had 3 trams and 2 steam locomotives in operation. The trams in question were Auckland B Class No. 11 of 1902, Melbourne W2 Class No. 321 of 1925, and Wellington Fiducia No. 257 of 1950. For the longest time, the W2 has been my favourite member of MOTAT's tram fleet, but now she has some competition from that title from No. 11. In any case, the Wellington trams run on 4-foot gauge, while Auckland and Melbourne trams run on 4-foot 8.5-inch gauge, otherwise known as standard gauge. Why the Wellington tram network was built with 4-foot gauge track is anyone's guess. As for what steam locomotives were running on the Western Springs Railway, Y542 ran the regular service with passenger coaches A851 and AF970, while Bertha, the 040 well tank, shuttled up and down the yard with L533, a freight wagon crudely modified to carry passengers. Feel free to check out my coverage of Bertha's re-entry into service following restoration, recorded in November 2023. Melbourne W7 tram number 1032 deserves a special mention, even though she hasn't run since 2017. The guard on Auckland's No. 11 told me that 1032 was in a sorry state with missing windows and bodyside panels, so I was curious to see the thing for myself. As I'm not a part of MOTAT's tram staff, I don't know when or if 1032 will ever run again, but I did manage to record some footage of her in July 2016, during her brief stint in operation. This tram was built in 1956, and came to New Zealand in 2011. Besides the trams and steam locomotives, I also managed to film the stationary boiler and other equipment inside the old pump house. It may not surprise anyone to learn that it was very hot in there, just like on a steam locomotive's footplate. These old NZR-era station buildings and signal box are located near the entrance to the model railway room. And I remember that around 10 or 11 years ago, there was a Kerr Stewart 060 tank engine and passenger coach on display along this little section of track. Above this platform, a bright orange Orenstein and Koppel 040 well tank now occupies the spot where K900 and DA1400 used to be. Quite frankly, I think this is a very poor substitute for what they used to have on this site. I was offered a small tour of the tram workshop, where I saw X1 trailer number 21 under restoration. Wellington Double Saloon Mark 1 number 135, Baldwin Steam Tram number 100, and Auckland Streamliner number 248 were also in the shop. Auckland 11 was parked just outside of the workshop while her crew were on their lunch break. When they got back, they let me ride aboard the tram as she went back out to the main line, and I stayed on board for the full run to MOTAT too. Number 11 is very significant because she is the oldest operational electric tram in New Zealand, having been built in 1902, and she is restored to her 1912 condition. As we rode along, I remembered just how much tram designs have changed over the last 122 years. For comparison, I will show some clips of the E-Class trams over in Melbourne. Those things entered service between 2013 and 2021. And although it would probably be too difficult to arrange, it would still be quite funny to see number 11 parked alongside an E.
MOTAT to the stop.
Now we shift the focus over to the Western Springs Railway, where we see Y542 charging up the climb out of Keith Park Station. Then I noticed this random wagon on a nearby siding. If my research is correct, the wagon is ZC11, and the siding is used to get rolling stock on and off a truck trailer when necessary. Presumably as part of the Live Day event, guided tours through the workshop were on offer. Things to see included a recently repainted KS freight wagon, the little green Oberursel locomotive of 1912, diesel locomotive TR730, steam locomotive F180, diesel locomotive DSA 223, and a passenger coach under restoration and carpentry. Meanwhile, Bertha was outside with freight wagon L533. Together, the locomotive and wagon provided a type of train ride that was distinctly different from Y542 and her regular coaches. Then I had the idea to try and get a low-angle still shot of Bertha. This was the result. Not long after I got back to the MOTAT 2 tram terminus, I was pleasantly surprised to find out that I'd be riding aboard Auckland tram number 11 again for the return trip to MOTAT 1. While number 11 waited for more passengers, James the motorman was explaining the tram's history to the people who were already aboard. As I said earlier, this thing was built in 1902 but was restored to her 1912 condition. As for that brass handle in the middle there, that controls the air brakes, and I remember being told that this tram didn't have air brakes when she was brand new. We passed Fiducia number 257 at the Auckland Zoo stop, before crawling through the loop next to the Great North Road and Motions Road intersection. And on the long straight before MOTAT 1, the tram was able to pick up a fair bit of speed. One of my last catches of the day on MOTAT's tram line was number 11 leaving the Great North Road station, but she waited for 257's return before setting off again. As it was getting close to 4 o'clock, the museum's closing time, 257 went back to the shed after dropping off her last load of passengers for the day.